This could not be worse timing for the Reform Party. Just when the local elections are around the corner, it is go, go, go mode on the campaign trail. Everyone is running around like a headless chicken, busy as ever. They've now got this to deal with. We have seen a statement put out by Rupert Lowe announcing that he is going to be suing Nigel Farage, Anderson, and Zia Yusuf for allegedly libelous comments about him. Let's take a look at that statement that he has put out, and we're going to be talking about in this video, is this going to impact the Reform Party at the polls? Will the distraction of this take away precious focus on the campaign trail, which also could massively affect their hopes at the local elections? And who does this look worse for? Does this look worse for those at the top of the Reform Party that are being sued, or does this look worse for Rupert Lowe because of the timing of it looking like he's trying to damage Reform's hopes at the local elections at a time when people desperately want change? And a lot of people, no matter what side they are on in the Rupert Lowe debate, think, you know what, regardless of what's happened, we need Reform to do well because the Tories and Labour are such a disaster. We cannot afford to have this debacle ruining the Reform Party's electoral hopes. So let's take a look at the statement and then we'll talk about all those things. So Rupert Lowe, he put this out, press statement by Rupert Lowe on 7th of March 2025. Anderson and Zia Yusuf signed and published a statement on behalf of Reform UK. Mr. Anderson and Mr. Yusuf are respectively the party's chief whip and chairman. The statement falsely alleged, amongst other things, that I had engaged in serious workplace bullying and had multiple serious threats to physically assault and injure Mr. Yusuf. The statement was read by millions and has caused serious harm to my reputation. I believe it was published as part of a concerted smear campaign against me after I made comments about the party's leader, Nigel Farage. I have today instructed my solicitors, Brett Wilson LLP, to send letters of claim to Reform's leader and director Nigel Farage, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Yusuf, asserting claims for defamation. I call on the party, Mr. Farage, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Yusuf to do the right thing and retract these false allegations. In the event that they are unwilling to do so, it is my intention to issue high court proceedings. Whilst I have no desire to litigate, I will do what is necessary to ensure my reputation is restored. Given the extant legal proceedings, I am unable to comment further on the matter at this stage. So there we go. That is the statement that has come out by Rupert Lowe. Now, of course, I haven't seen the legal letters themselves that have been sent to Farage, Anderson and Yusuf, but what I would imagine is that those legal letters, they have a deadline to reply, okay? So they will say in the letter, you know, you have 14 days to reply, for example, and if you don't reply by then, we will issue court proceedings. Now, as Rupert Lowe says here, he does not want to have to get to that point. He does not want to have to litigate, so he's hoping that he can get a big apology out of them, I would imagine, get them to put their hands up and admit that they did wrong. But the difficulty is you know, Farage and the rest of them at the top of the Reform Party, they are going to have to take up precious time and energy at a time when they really should be focusing on the local elections that are right around the corner. You know, they've got, thousands of people standing. They've got to manage all of these people with, you know, I'd imagine quite a small team. The Reform Party is not huge at this point managerially, right? They've got so much on their plate. They are now going to have to take time to consult their lawyers, figure out what their response to this is going to be. It's not going to be as simple as, oh, we'll just put up a tweet saying, sorry, Rupert Lowe. You know, they definitely will have to talk to a lawyer about what is the best way, even if they do want to apologise, what is the best way to go about this? What is the best way to phrase whatever apology may be going out? It would be very interesting to see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen. Do you think that Reform will give in and issue an apology, or would that be a mistake? Do you think that this will end up going to court? And if so, what impact do you think that is going to have on the polls? Will this damage the Reform Party? I think my biggest concern at the moment is just that time and energy of the people at the top being taken away at a time when they really should be focusing on those local election campaigns. Okay, this sort of stuff is not the kind of thing that you can just give to your intern to deal with. Like, oh hey, I'm busy running the party, dealing with these local elections, can you just, little intern, can you deal with the whole legal proceedings thing? Like, no, this is such a big deal that all the people at the top are going to have to be, focused on this and spending time and energy on thinking, what are we going to do about the Rupert Lowe situation? How are we going to respond? But let's have a think about what impact this is going to have on the reputation of the party. Now, you guys may have seen some polls come out on like how many members of the public, how many members of the Reform Party know who Rupert Lowe is, and it's actually a fairly small percentage. Although all of us, I'm sure most of you watching this, we are all up to date with exactly what is going on, who Rupert Lowe is. You've got to remember that there are huge swathes of the population who, I mean, they barely even like listen to the news, and they get on with their lives, they do their jobs. I'm not saying that they're dumb, right? I'm just saying they're busy. They're busy with what matters to them. They're just busy with their passions. Politics is not going to be everyone's passion, right? And so you have huge swathes of people across the country who, they know who Farage is, they know what Reform is, they know that they're fed up with Labour and the Tories, so they put a tick in the box for the Reform Party. They don't even know that this whole debacle is going on, right? But this is what the Telegraph are saying in their article with regards to the polling situation. They say the incident, the Rupert Lowe debacle, coincided with Reform losing its month-long poll lead over Labour, which saw it briefly rank as the most popular political party in Britain. The latest poll averages suggest both Labour and Reform have the support of about 24% of the public. Reform sources have expressed exasperation that the furor of Mr. Lowe has overshadowed some of the party's latest work on the campaign trail. A spokesman for Reform UK declined to comment, so some suggestion there of not the polls dropping massively, but them losing that little bit of lead that they had over the party. Was that a consequence of the Rupert Lowe situation, or was that just natural fluctuation that is inevitable? I don't know for sure. I think that it's possibly damaged them ever so slightly, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I think it's just going to mean for a very stressful time for the Reform Party when they need to be all eyes focused on this local election campaign. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Does this look bad for Rupert Lowe, given that he's chosen to issue this statement before the local elections? Would the right thing to do for the good of this country, regardless of whether you think Farage, Anderson and Yusuf did the right or wrong thing, should he have waited for the good of this country when we desperately need change until after the the local elections to issue this statement? Do you think that this looks really bad for Rupert Lowe? Does it look vindictive? Does it look like he's desperately trying to damage Reform's electoral hopes by choosing the most inconvenient time to issue this statement? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know a lot of you have a lot of sympathy for Rupert Lowe, and looking at your guys' comments, I do try to look at as many as I can. On the previous videos we've put out on this, I've seen a lot of support for Rupert Lowe and sympathy for him in this situation. But regardless, even if you're on his side and think that he is not guilty of any of the things he has been accused of, do you think that this is silly? This is him throwing his toys out the pram, choosing this super inconvenient time. It's 17th of April. We go to the polls on the 1st of May. Should he have just waited until afterwards? I think maybe he should have, but you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe to the Reason channel if you've not already, so you don't miss out on any future videos.